Have you ever walked across the room not far, not fast, and suddenly felt breathless, not gasping, not panicked, just short of breath? Like your chest forgot how to expand, like your heart was trying to whisper something but you weren't quite listening. You sit down, you rest. It passes, so you tell yourself, maybe I stood up too fast. Maybe it's just part of getting older. But what if it's not? What if the real reason isn't your age, but your plate? Not fast food, not fried food, but foods that wear the label healthy. Foods you trust. Foods recommended by heart-friendly cookbooks, and even hospitals. Because here's what most people never hear. After 60, your arteries become more sensitive. They lose elasticity. They're more vulnerable to plaque. And the foods you eat, especially ones high in sodium, refined sugars, or disguised as low-fat, can silently inflame those arteries, causing them to narrow, stiffen, and starve your heart of what it needs most: oxygen-rich blood. You won't feel it right away. Not until your energy dips. Your feet feel colder, your chest tighter. But by then, the damage has already begun. That's why in this video, we're uncovering 4 everyday foods you probably eat without thinking that may be slowly narrowing your arteries every single day. More importantly, you'll discover what to eat instead to protect your heart, your circulation, and your independence. Because every food you choose is either building your future or quietly breaking it down. Welcome to Golden Years Wellness, where wisdom meets wellness. Now, let's start with a food you've probably trusted for years, but that your arteries are quietly begging you to reconsider. Food 1. Canned soups, packaged, heart-healthy, meals the convenience. That's quietly closing your arteries. They're easy, they're fast. They sit quietly in your pantry, waiting for a busy day, a cold night, a moment when cooking feels like too much. Canned soups. Pre-packaged, healthy meals. The kind with labels that say low-fat, heart-smart, doctor recommended. For many seniors, they feel like the safe choice, especially when you live alone or don't want to deal with pots, pans, or prep. But behind that convenience is a quiet threat most people never see coming. Sodium. Not the salt you add with your hand, but the kind that's already built into the broth, the sauce, the seasoning packet. And it's not just a little. 1 can of soup can have 600 to 1, 200 milligrams of sodium, just 1 serving. And many people eat the whole can. That means you could hit your daily sodium limit before lunchtime. Here's what happens next. Sodium pulls water into your blood vessels. That raises blood pressure. It damages the delicate lining of your arteries and sets the stage for plaque buildup, stiffness, and inflammation. It's called atherosclerosis, and it's one of the most common causes of heart attacks and strokes in people over 60. But here's the twist. You might not feel anything at first, just fatigue after meals, cold fingers and toes, slight dizziness when standing, a pressure in your chest that comes and goes. And because it feels subtle, most people never connect it to the healthy soup they've been eating every other day. Lives alone, loves tomato soup. She told us she often ate it for lunches to heat, soft on her stomach, and approved by the Heart Foundation. But she also started noticing she needed to rest more in the afternoon. Her ankles were swelling. She felt foggy, even after a good night's sleep. Then one day at a grocery store, she turned over the can. 180 milligrams of sodium in 1 cup, and she'd been eating the whole thing. Mary made a small shift. She started cooking one big batch of vegetable soup on Sundays. Low-sodium broth, fresh herbs, garlic, lemon. She froze it in small containers ready for the week. 3 weeks later, her swelling eased. Her energy returned. And she told us, "I didn't know soup could be the thing hurting me, but I also didn't know it could be the thing that helped me heal." That's the power of knowing better without fear, without shame. So what can you do? Choose low sodium, 140 or less per serving, or no salt added. Cook big batches of homemade soup with whole ingredients and freeze them. Replace salt with flavor. Fresh herbs, onion, garlic, lemon juice, turmeric. Be cautious with packaged meals, labeled healthy. Always read the label, because heart disease doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it hides in the foods that feel the most familiar. And if this food surprised, you just wait until the next one. It's soft, sweet, and probably sitting in your breakfast bowl. Let's talk about cereal and granola bars. Food. 2. Breakfast cereals, granola bars. The healthy start that's sabotaging your heart. It feels comforting, familiar. A bowl of cereal with milk. A granola bar with your morning coffee. Quick, simple, and safe. For many older adults, these are the go-to choices. No chopping, no cooking. Just open, pour, eat. The boxes promise so much. Whole grain, heart healthy, fortified with vitamins, and they look like the right thing to do. But here's the hidden problem, and it's a big one. Most cereals and granola bars marketed to seniors are loaded with added sugars and refined carbs. Not just a sprinkle, but sugar levels that rival dessert. One serving of cereal can contain 8 to 16 grams of sugar, and most people eat more than one serving. A single granola bar? Up to 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly 6 teaspoons in one little bar. And after 60, your body doesn't bounce back from sugar like it used to. Here's what really happens. Blood sugar spikes, insulin floods. The spike turns to a crash. Fatigue, fog, irritability. Over time, insulin resistance, vascular inflammation, arterial damage. It's the perfect storm for atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries. The very thing you're trying to prevent. Even the so-called low-fat cereals can be worse. When fat is removed, it's usually replaced with more sugar or starch, both of which raise blood glucose and inflame your cardiovascular system from the inside out. Let me tell you about Jim, 68. He'd start each day with a bowl of Raisin Bran and a granola bar. He thought he was doing great fiber, whole grains. Not too heavy. But by 10 a.m. he was exhausted. By lunch, he had to sit down. And by afternoon, his ankles were tight, and his chest felt heavy. He never connected it to breakfast, until one day, he checked the box. 32 grams of sugar. Before noon, Jim made a change. He swapped the cereal for steel-cut oats unsweetened. He added blueberries, cinnamon, and a handful of walnuts. Within 2 weeks, his energy stabilized. He said it best, "I didn't change how much I ate. I changed how my food worked for me." That's the key. Not less food, just better fuel. Here's how to upgrade your breakfast. Switch to steel. Cut or rolled oats, not instant. Add natural sweetness. Cinnamon, berries, banana slices. If you still like granola bars, look for under 6 grams of sugar, at least 3 grams of fiber, no corn syrup or chemical sweeteners. Try a savory breakfast instead. A slice of sourdough with avocado boiled eggs with greens Greek yogurt with chia seeds and cinnamon. Because your morning is not just a meal, it sets the rhythm of your circulation, your clarity, your energy. And if your cereal is harming your arteries, wait until you see what's hiding in your sandwich. Let's talk about deli meats. Food 3. Deli meats. Lean processed meats. The low fat lie. That's damaging your arteries. It looks clean. It sounds healthy. 97% fat-free. Lean turkey. Sliced chicken breast. You're trying to eat light. Avoid greasy food. Make smarter choices. So you pick up those thin, tidy slices from the deli counter. Or the neatly packaged meat, labeled Heart Smart. But here's what most people never see. It's not the fat, it's the salt and the chemicals that come with convenience. Deli meats and lean, processed meats like ham, turkey breast, chicken slices, even so-called plant-based patties are often loaded with sodium and preservatives that wreak havoc on your arteries. Just 2 small slices of deli turkey can contain 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium. That's over half your recommended daily intake before you even add bread, cheese, or condiments. And let's be honest, nobody eats just 2 slices. So what happens inside your body? Excess sodium causes fluid retention. That raises blood pressure. It stiffens arteries, reducing their ability to expand and contract. And over time, poor circulation, heart strain, and silent plaque buildup. But it gets worse. Most deli meats also contain nitrates and nitrite chemical preservatives used to improve shelf life and color. Once inside your body, these compounds can trigger inflammation in your blood vessel walls, leading to something called endothelial dysfunction. That means your arteries lose their ability to self-regulate and become vulnerable to permanent damage. You may not feel it today, but one day, your legs feel heavy. You stand up and feel lightheaded. You take a short walk and feel your heart racing faster than it should. And you wonder why. Let me tell you about Frank, 73. He made all the right changes, cut red meat, exercised more, gave up sugar, but his blood pressure kept climbing. His cardiologist was puzzled until they looked at his lunch. 2 sandwiches, 6 slices of deli turkey, every single day. Frank switched to prepping his own chicken breast on Sundays. He sliced it thin, seasoned it with herbs, kept it in the fridge. Within a month, his BP dropped. He said, "It wasn't the meat, it was what they did to it." Exactly. Here's what you can do. Choose fresh, unprocessed proteins, grilled chicken, baked salmon, hard-boiled eggs, lentils. If you need convenience, cook and slice your own meats at home. Look for deli meats labeled low sodium, 140 mg or less per serving. No added nitrates or nitrites. Try meat, free sandwich fillings, hummus, mashed avocado, sliced, roasted vegetables. They're satisfying, anti-inflammatory, and artery-friendly. Because when it comes to heart health, processing is the problem, not the protein itself. And if you thought deli meats were sneaky, just wait until we talk about what's in your fridge door. Bright, sweet, and 100% juice. Let's talk about fruit juices, antioxidant drinks, food. 4. Fruit juices, antioxidant drinks, the sweet sipper that's silently stiffening your arteries. They're colorful, they say. Heart healthy. 100% juice. No added sugar. And they're sitting right there in your fridge, waiting to do you good. You pour a glass of pomegranate juice, maybe cranberry, or some trendy acai blend. And it feels like a smart swap. No soda, no diet drinks. Just juice, just fruit, just health. Right? But here's the truth. Juice is not fruit. Not in how it behaves inside your body. Not in how your arteries respond. Even natural juice is a concentrated sugar source without the fiber, bulk, or plant structure of whole fruit. A single glass of orange juice contains 20 to 30 grams of sugar. That's as much or more than a can of soda. And when you drink it, that sugar rushes into your blood stream fast. No fiber to slow it down, no chewing, no digestion lag, just a direct hit to your insulin system. Here's what happens next. Blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin. The spike crashes. You feel tired, dizzy, shaky. Repeated spikes trigger inflammation in your artery walls. That inflammation turns into plaque. Over time, stiff arteries, poor circulation, and increased risk of stroke or heart attack. And the worst part? It doesn't feel unhealthy. You're not chewing candy. You're drinking antioxidants. But labels lie. And your arteries don't care about marketing. Even the drinks labeled no added sugar can still carry 25 gov natural sugar, which has the same metabolic impact. And many of the so-called antioxidant blends, they're concentrated syrups with water and coloring, not whole food nutrients. Let me tell you about Diane, 70. She swapped her afternoon soda for a tall glass of cranberry pomegranate juice. She was proud of the switch. But over the next few months, her cholesterol spiked, her triglycerides were up, and she felt sluggish, despite eating better. Her nutritionist suggested one change. Ditch the juice. Eat the fruit. Diane started eating half an orange with her breakfast, some blueberries with lunch, drank herbal tea instead of juice. A month later, she said, "I thought juice was saving me. Turns out, it was slowing me down." Exactly. What should you do instead? Eat whole fruits, with skin, fiber, and water intact. Drink infused water with cucumber, lemon, or berries. Sip unsweetened herbal tea, warm, flavorful, and heart-calming. If you still crave juice, mix 1 part juice with 3 parts water or sparkling water. Limit to 1/2 cup per day, never on an empty stomach. Always pair with protein or fat to blunt the spike. Because when it comes to your arteries, how sugar arrives matters just as much as how much. And that innocent-looking juice bottle in your fridge? It might be the most dangerous thing you sip all day. But now, you know. You didn't get here overnight. And heart disease doesn't happen overnight either. It's not one bite, one glass, one bowl of soup. It's the slow, quiet repetition of choices you thought were safe. But today, now you see clearly that heart-smart soup, salt trap, that healthy cereal, sugar bomb, that lean deli meat, processed poison, that natural juice, liquid inflammation, and the most powerful part, you don't need to fear that, because now you can choose differently. One swap, one label read, one ingredient left on the shelf. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to partner with your heart, because your heart is listening every day. And when you feed it wisely, it gives you back energy, clarity, independence. More time to spend with the people who matter most. So, if this video opened your eyes, even a little like it, subscribe to Golden Years Wellness and share it with someone you love. Maybe it's a friend who thinks cereal is still a health food. Maybe it's your spouse who drinks juice every morning. Maybe it's you realizing it's not too late. And in the next video, we'll show you the other side. 4 powerful foods that open your arteries naturally, support blood flow, and bring vitality back to every corner of your body. Because you deserve to live with strength, not stiffness. With breath, not burden. Welcome to Golden Years Wellness, where wisdom meets wellness.